Hi guys, my name is Melissa. My YouTube channel name is Jamrock Girl. Welcome to my channel. Today we're exploring the Queen's House Museum now. It's located in Greenwich, Southeast? Southeast London, and it's free entry, so enjoy all these beautiful artworks and other stuff from her time. As I go along, I will try to video all the information and the pieces that. Thank you. Okay, this is it. Ooh, wow. I tell you, there's some amazing artwork in here. Look at these little boats. This is all the information and the boats. As I said before, if you're interested, you can pause. You pause what you're watching and read if you wish to do so. Okay, this is amazing. Look at this 4-panel artwork with all the boats. Details. Okay. And now we're going back through. This is where we just video just now. Yeah. And we're going back through this open hallway, open space. Look at the floor. Look at this. All the way around. Hello. Yeah, that's my bushman husband. Okay, so we're back in here. I was in here before videoing away people. Didn't even realize that the video was on pause. So I'm back in here again to do all over. Look at this artwork. This is the info before I show you the artwork. Yeah, and this is the artwork. Look at this frame. This is from 1861. Look at this. In this artwork, everyone is engaged in something. She's eating her apple. This dog is wondering what's going on up here. This lady's weeping, obviously. Wow. She's crying. This baby girl is wondering, why am I on the floor and my sister is on her lap? These are some beautiful, beautiful historical pieces. Now this is all the information about these pieces here. Yeah, so going along. We'll go around here and I give you a close-up of this part here and the other side. This is the Mer family. Look at that bowl. Ooh. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Amazing. Look at the star boy. This is my favorite picture on this floor. My favorite picture of Queen Victoria. Look at the detail in her gown. It's absolutely, it's like you can literally touch it. And it feels like you're touching her. Oh, yes. Look at the frames, guys. Look at these frames. It's amazing. Guys, we're heading up to the second floor. Look at this. 100 million floor. This wallpaper. That's the info for the wallpaper. And we go up. Yeah, another flight of stairs, which is a third set of stairs. Yeah. And this is where we're entering now. Guys, this is where we're coming from. Can't walk there. Oh, sorry. It's good. Ooh. This is massive. This is massive. This artwork literally take up the entire wall. Yeah. Yes. I'm coming there. Oh, this is just, look at the, oh, look at the roof. Oh, look at this. Oh, guys, to give you a close up of this. Oh my days. Babe, you see this?
This is, yeah.
Guys, this is the ceiling.
Ceiling is beautiful.
That's a tapestry, you know?
Yeah, we have the same
Ah.
the same cloth like the one at the house.
Oh, look at this tapestry. Oh, look at all these cherubs. These little babies. This is like huge. Just take up all of the wall space. Oh, man.
Actually, I just want to show you guys something different today as I enter to St. Paul and St. Peter Cathedral. And so,
This is the Queen's house museum.
this is the Queen's Palace. See what they were enjoying. You can see the ceiling.
Sorry. Guys, at this point I'm just baffled and stunned at the same time. Everything is amazing. Oh man, this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. This is just amazing. Oh wow. Totally forget I'm supposed to let you guys read what's going on here. Yeah. Oh my days. Look at the details in this artwork. Oh. Oh man. Guys, this is floor. My floor. Pen paintings. Wow. All of these were made with pen and ink in here. Pen and ink in this section. Another 5 minutes. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at him. Guys, this is wood. This is wood. This is all carved out of wood. He is amazing. Hello. Hey, I'm fine.
You enjoying Nicky's house?
It's my first time here. I'm enjoying it. I'm just doing a little video.
Yeah.
You work here.
I do, yes.
Do
Yeah.
you mind telling us a little bit about it?
Well, I was going to ask you if you want to know a bit about this guy here.
Yeah.
Because I do a talk about him. His name is Oluda Equiano, although he was known for most of his life as Gustavus Vassa. But he was born in Western Africa, in a region that's now Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
And at the age of 11, he was captured and sold as a slave.
Wow.
So he travelled all throughout Western Africa, sort of encountering different cultures and languages and things.
Okay.
And from there, he injured the Middle Passage. So he was on board the ship, and still, age only 11, he was quite terrified and scared.
Shit. Can imagine.
Yeah, and not only that, but like a lot of people that he was on board the ship with,
Yeah.
he couldn't really communicate with, because everyone was like speaking a different language, and he didn't understand what was going on. And he was certain that these slave traders wanted to eat him. Because he was such a young boy, and so he wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he made it to the Americas, and from there he was sold to a captain of the Royal Navy. And so at this particular time, so this is around the 1750s, this particular time is when the 7 Years' War is about to break out. So 7 Years' War, so all of like the admirals and captains that you see around the room here would have had some involvement in this war. So it's, in a nutshell, it's basically between France, Spain, Great Britain, and they're all sort of fighting over territories in the Americas. And Olu de Equiano joins the Navy at this moment where this war is about to break out.
And he's just 11.
And he's just 11 years old.
Oh,
yeah, so he's stationed in London, in between sort of going out and joining these battles. But, so he manages to learn English, and he's introduced to the Christian faith as well. So he does have a friend called Richard, who is the only person who really talks to him, and he actually, treats him like his friend. So that's really instrumental in Equiano actually getting to converse with people and ask questions and get answers. So when he joins the Navy now, because of the outbreak of this war, it means that he's promoted. Then
so he was a soldier at 11.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 11, sort of nearly 12
So
years
he's,
old.
this point, now going to war at 11 years.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. So he's not a servant of the ship anymore. He's now he's a very active member of the crew. So he's responsible for manning the guns, loading the gunpowder, and things like that. So he has a role, and like his crewmates, he's expected that he'll get a salary at the end of it. So in 7 years, he goes from being 11 years old to 18. Now, unfortunately, the captain, Henry Pascal, decides instead to sell him to another.
Sell him to another.
Sell him on straight away. So all the hopes that he's been building over these 7 years of being a free man. And,
he went back into
making his own life for himself. Unfortunately, never happened. So what he does then, he's taken to the West Indies, and he's based now in Montserrat.
Okay.
And here he's
That's near my home.
Oh really?
I'm Jamaican.
Oh, that's good. Cool. So he's based in Montserrat now, and he is working for a merchant Quaker called Robert King. And so what he's responsible now for doing, he's still on board ships, so he's responsible now for buying and selling lots of goods, trading around the islands, around there, and making money for his master. But what Robert King ends up doing is allowing Equiano to have some space on board the ships to buy and sell
his own products,
his own profit as well. And even says to Equiano, if you want to buy your freedom, you have to pay me the £40 that I paid for you. So you pay me back.
Pay me back, and you're a free man.
And in those days, £40
was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, especially when you're raising it by yourself. It's around £6,000 to £8,000. I'm not sure the exact number, but
at that time.
At that time, it's a lot of money to raise, especially when you're dealing in small transactions. And the issue that Equiano was having quite a lot was that because people saw him as a slave, quite a lot of the time people would have paid him the money he was owed. So people see him and he ends up getting in quite a few scuffles. Because
obviously if he was trading for 10 say 10 pence, they would probably want to give him 5.
Yeah, or nothing.
Or nothing. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
like, why should I have a slave?
Yeah.
And so people used to take advantage of that. And because all the information I get for this talk comes from his book.
Yeah, yeah.
So he says in his book, he notices how, particularly in the West Indies, that there are a lot of people who were enslaved who become free only to be recaptured again, because people see them as slaves and will recapture them.
Yeah. So obviously, if he was recaptured again, he would have been resold again.
Exactly. Yeah. So after just over a year, he does manage to raise £40, and he presents it to Robert King, and Robert King is just astounded because he says
He didn't think he would have.
Yeah, exactly. So he actually said, "You make money faster than I do. Like, if I'd have known that you would have been able to do that, I would have never made such
Me
money."
just the deal would have been off.
So he nearly doesn't get his freedom, but it's one of his crewmates, a captain that he's been working with, who actually says, "No, you must give him his freedom."
Yeah, a deal is a deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He stayed true to his word the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
3 years he's been working
And
there.
he's been working and saving his money for it.
Exactly. And he's had opportunities to escape as well,
And he didn't.
So then he goes, "Oh, okay, you're a free man," signs the papers,
Yeah.
It's all official. Greenwich has got himself a nice new suit to celebrate. And this time, because he's not a slave, he gets a salary. So he continues working for the same, for Robert King. And he continues working, but this time he'll get 36 guineas to complete another voyage around the island. And so he does that, and the whole crew nearly loses their lives, and everything on board, all their cargo, everything.
Wow.
So this is the thing about sea travel at this time. It's very precarious. You can hit a rocky shore at any moment in the pitch black of darkness and not know where you are. Your ship can sink very, very quickly against this hard coast.
Yeah.
So this is what happens. They're stranded on an island overnight, and they don't know what they're going to do. So it's only really by some stroke of this miracle that there is another crew stranded there. And so they managed to put together their resources and make it back to Montserrat by the skin of their teeth, so they almost don't make it back. And Equiano even manages to keep some of his cargo and still sail some of it on as well. So at this point he's thinking, well, I don't want to stay here anymore because I'm in danger. I'm in danger not just of being shipwrecked on an island, but also of being recaptured again.
And resold.
So he uses his money, puts his money to good use, he comes back to London.
Oh.
And whilst he's in London, the first place he comes back to is Greenwich. So here in Greenwich. Yeah. So his plans in Greenwich, he actually has some friends here. So his friends are relatives of his old captain when he was a member of the Royal Navy, and they lived here in Greenwich. But he was thinking, if I set up a meeting with my old captain, he might give me the money that I'm owed. So he sets up a meeting in Greenwich Park, just out here, and they have a meeting, and unfortunately, Captain Henry Pascal says, "Nope,
he didn't get any money.
I'm gonna pay you."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so he has his money, he's putting it towards his education, he learns the French horn, but he's slowly running out of money, so he needs to do something.
Yeah.
He offers his services to these sisters who lived on Mace Hill here. And they instead said, "Well, what do you want to learn?" And he already has a little bit of experience as a hairdresser. From his time in the Royal Navy, because dressing hair, as you can see around the room, is really important. A lot of people had either very stylish wigs or very distinct hairstyles. And so he got himself an apprenticeship in Covent Garden, and he was working there as a hairdresser. And through there, so it doesn't stop there, it just gets more exciting. Through there, he meets someone called Dr. Charles Irving. And he is an inventor who, at this present moment, is making a device which purifies seawater for safe drinking.
Oh,
on board ships.
yeah.
So before long, he's back on board a ship, assisting Dr. Charles Irving.
Again.
But this time, though, he's going to find the Northwest Passage via the North Pole. So the Northwest Passage was a huge, huge deal. They basically wanted to find this passage around the north of America, which meant that any kind of trading goods that was coming from Asia didn't have to pass so many land checkpoints. So it would make things a lot cheaper. So they're going to find the Northwest Passage. It goes to the North Pole. Whilst he's there, this man behind you, he's very famous, Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
He was only 16 years old at the time, but he was on board one of the other ships, Equiano, in the same expedition. So he's travelled all around the world, he's had all these amazing experiences, he's written all about it because he's a very keen writer.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks, well, what next? Once he actually settles in London, he, along with a group of other men, sets up a political group called the Sons of Africa. And these are all men who have had experiences in slavery in some way, and a lot of them are writers as well, so they use their writing skills to write open letters and publications in all kinds of newspapers and things like that, in order to share their experiences of the slave trade. And this is when Equiano writes his book. So he writes his autobiography.
Yeah. And what year?
So that was 1789.
Wow.
Yeah. 1789 was quite an important year because in the UK there would have been a vote in Parliament as to whether they should abolish the Middle Passage, this part of the slave trade.
Slave trade, yeah.
And so his book was released at this time in order to inspire in the hearts of the members of Parliament to vote for the abolition of this part of the slave trade.
So his book was like his voice.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So it was designed to be really persuasive.
Yeah.
You know? So he didn't.
So instead of going to everyone, he wrote a book to let his voice be heard, probably his experience and what he went through, and that is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he kind of went through a bit of a spiritual journey along the way as well, and I think a lot of people would have resonated with that.
Yeah.
And so the whole time he's kind of like comparing his time growing up in Africa and
leaving at 11 and being sold off and
exactly. So he goes even further to ensure that it has impact as well, and he goes on a book tour.
Really?
Around the UK. So
Really?
Suffolk, Bristol, all around Scotland.
So you become a star.
Yes, he is a star. Yeah. So he then becomes a bestseller in the UK. So it becomes an instant bestseller.
I wonder if I can find a copy.
Oh, I think they have it in the Maritime Museum shop next door.
Yeah.
If not, you'll definitely, because I got one online as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's widely available. There's
should
lots
look.
of really good resources about him, and so it becomes a bestseller.
I wonder how much the first copy is.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if they must survive. Must have survived.
He must have survived.
Well, this is where this image of him comes from, because obviously, like this wasn't made during his lifetime. This was made in 2006 by Christy Symington, and it was made to in the lead up to the 200 years anniversary of the abolition of slavery. And so in the front cover of his book there was a picture of him.
Okay.
So
this was this was sculptured from the book.
Yeah. But it's even translated into Dutch. And if you come around the back here,
we can see where the hairdressing style comes from.
Yeah. And then look at the shape of his back. It's like the continent of Africa.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Apparently it was an accident, but
But it's a good accident.
It's a happy accident. But then you've got the Brooks slave ship diagram.
It does.
So this was a really important image that circulated a lot during the abolition movement.
Okay.
And this showed how people were arranged on board the ships, and this is how slave traders maximised how many people they could carry in one journey. And just because it's so small, she's included a close-up of just one person. So when Equiano's book was published, their votes went ahead in Parliament, but they decided not to abolish the Middle Passage. So it still went on for almost another 10 years after that.
10 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And but what did happen is there was another Dolphin Slave Trade Act, which meant that the conditions on board the ship were marginally improved.
Yeah.
So it meant that a lot more people survived the journey and saved a lot of people's lives. And there's no doubt due to the work that Equiano had done to share his personal experience.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he died before the abolition of slavery, about 10 years before.
What year did he pass?
He died in 1797, and the Slave Trade Act was 1807.
So what age?
He was 50.
So he died in his 50s?
Oh, let me think about that. It's a bit in my... he was 52, I believe.
Oh, wow.
No.
He was still vibrant.
Yeah. So I don't know what he died of, but he was married and he had 2 daughters.
Oh, okay.
His wife died shortly before he did, and not long after his wife died, one of his daughters passed away very young. I know. Really, really sad. But one of his daughters, Joanna, did live to the age of about 60, and we don't know if she had any living descendants. But she's buried up in Suffolk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but his legacy continues. I mean, his work sort of fell into obscurity for a while, and wasn't republished again until the 1960s. But since then, like he's been getting a lot more recognition, and he'll be taught in the school curriculum now. So a lot more kids will grow up knowing who he is, which is great. Because he's very determined, and he never gave up, and he really used the skills that he had, his ability, and got his voice.
To be heard,
really far.
Even if no one knows if his daughter had any kids or whatever, his life story still lives on. Maybe not by kids or relatives or whatever, but he still have a voice because the book will be here forever. Yeah,
and there are several copies of this particular sculpture in the Parliament's collection.
Really?
And also in the Slavery Museum in Liverpool. So, and the artist is still sort of working.
Okay. So was this building the Queen's?
This is the Queen's house.
House.
Yeah.
Now turned into a museum.
Yes, so now it's
and all of these pieces were brought here, or they were in here once?
Yeah, they weren't here originally. So the thing with the Queen's house is the history is quite complex because it was made in the lead up to the English Civil War. So when the Civil War broke out, a lot of the furniture and artworks and things were taken away and sold because obviously like war is expensive, so they need to raise the money. And so and then because it was the Queen's house and not really property of the king as such, they didn't really treat it with the same kind of respect as like all the king's all the king's paintings and furniture and stuff is so well documented, but for the Queen's
still there
stuff, and it's they probably trace it even if it has been sold on. They'll have some record of it, whereas here it's
nothing is
they don't really treat it with the same kind of respect. So when it opened as a museum, there was some talk, and it was sort of arranged with some furniture, but it was all kind of just a sort of guess of what might have been here.
Okay.
So it's more suitable.
So similar to the era, but not original to the building.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So now it's owned by Royal Museum to Greenwich, and their collection has a maritime theme. So it's all to do with anything to do with the sea. And obviously Equiano, having been 7 years in the Royal Navy, and he would have known a lot of these people as well.
Wow. The artworks, they're like
amazing.
They're spectacular.
So what brings you to the Queen's house? How did you find out about it?
I am now based in Deptford.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I'm a bit of a, what would you call me now? I love artwork.
Oh, okay.
Now, in my flat, we don't have any wall space. My art now is flooded on the floor, leaned up. So I've been to the other side of the museum.
Yeah.
I've never been to this side.
Yeah.
So I said,
Bit of a
oh,
hidden gem, this
yeah,
one.
this one. So I was walking up from the St. Paul's Church on the other side of the road, and we're going to visit that one again. So I saw this one, and I said to my husband, let's see what this one is. Maybe it's open to the public. So when we came in, we saw the little poster outside of the Queen's House, now a museum, and it's free to enter. So I said, there must be some beautiful artworks. Yeah.
Hello.
See that? Yes.
Is there a lift there? Yes, there is. Yeah. If you go straight to the end, I go out to the balcony, and the lift is the other side of the balcony.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah, so that's how I end up here. I normally go around like flea markets and charter shops and stuff, and I always look for artwork and like stuff, you know. I'm a bit of an oldie, vintage and antique, and my mom said, you're so old. But we live in the Caribbean, so like stuff like this is not appreciated. Well, I don't know if anybody that really appreciate old stuff in the Caribbean, because everything there is exported and new and all of that. So what I'm doing now is I'm building my own place there, and I have 2 floors. So what I'm doing is I'm shipping all of the vintage and antique stuff from here, so I can do up my house there.
Do you make art yourself as well?
I don't, but I appreciate, you know, the older pieces and all the pieces that I can find. I even do a bit of reselling online. So I mostly sell all of my stuff that I find that are interesting, and I learn about bits and pieces, and I do my shop on eBay, and so that's my love for all these things. So when I come in here now and I see all of this, especially the frame and the gilded frames, and
especially I really like this frame because this is very newly conserved. This is a typical sort of 18th century frame with like the beading that goes around. But because it's so gold, it reflects so much light, and it really brightens up this room.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I saw the one of Queen Victoria in that. It's like you can literally just take her dress and touch it, the way how it was painted. It's beautiful.
Really beautiful. Thank you for coming and listening to my little talk. I'm glad
It was
someone came
lovely
along.
to listen
It's
and
such
know
a quiet
about
corner of
this
the house.
this Nigerian man here. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I must try and get his book so I can know a little bit. It is, isn't it?
It's a real page turner. There's a lot that I can't always include everything.
I know.
Details,
Yeah.
which really shows his character.
Yeah.
As well. So I think he would be one of the people. People ask you if you could invite anyone to a dinner party, dead or alive. Like who would it be?
Just to hear his
at the top of the table. Because I think in his book there's probably a lot of stuff that he probably wanted to say but couldn't, and I would love to know if he could just say anything, if he could just let it all go, like what would he say?
But he did. Was there anything about his like experience, like deep depth experience in his book, or he didn't go into so much details?
Well, because when he was captured at the age of 11, he was with his sister. And so he does really, I think what he does really well in his book is capture the emotion of being separated and not seeing his sister again. I think that, and he does mention that throughout as well, that he's trying to find something that he believes in spiritually. And so like when he has like near-death experiences, or when he has these traumatic things that happen, like being captured and things like, he's questioning,
his faith.
Constantly throughout it. So he does go into some details about that. But I mean, I think as well, I would be so angry and upset if someone who I've been working with for 7 years, you know, put your life at risk, you know, in the Navy,
Yeah,
and
and then
just doesn't pay you.
said no.
I just think I would be so distraught by
No, but in his position and what he was then and the position he was in, even if he wanted to get angry, I don't think he could
that.
have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the
so
thing. He has to, because he's trying to persuade people to vote against
Yeah,
slavery. That's his
yeah.
main aim. He's sort of like keeping everything else out of it, and that's the aim.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So.
Yeah, because I went around to Greenwich and the other side where they have these big cages, and I'm not sure of the story, but I need to research it. But allegedly, I heard that it was for slaves, where they would put them in the cages on the Thames path. So they have some big metal cages there. When the slave boat came in, they said they would have been held there until they were traded off. So you can imagine being there where you are isolated at that point in like 0 temperature water, freezing, you know, and waiting to be sold to somebody where the highest bidder would probably get you to be taken home. So I haven't done much on it. So I will research it to see if the story lines up, but it's
Where did you say that was?
it's on the Thames path. Yeah. You should, you can have a look at it. There's a lot of big cages there that you can look at. Anyway, guys, my battery is about to die, and this lovely hair. Would you like to tell us your name?
Oh, I'm Sarah.
Sarah has just given us the history of this lovely gentleman here in the background. And thank you guys for watching, and keep on watching, subscribe, like, and share, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.